Put a great plasma beside an early LCD in a dark room, and the supposedly obsolete screen could look better. Blacks looked black. Motion stayed clean. The picture held up from the side. Pioneer even named its celebrated television Kuro, the Japanese word for black. Yet plasma vanished, while LCD became the default television almost everywhere. So, why did the screen many enthusiasts preferred lose? Because televisions are not sold in dark test rooms. They are manufactured, shipped, displayed, and priced. That distinction matters. Plasma did not lose a single picture quality contest. It lost a much larger contest over what kind of screen could become an everyday global product. By the end, LCD offered something plasma could not match as one package. Small and huge sizes, falling prices, bright shop floor images, lower weight, and generally lower electricity use. None of those advantages alone killed plasma. Together, they made LCD easier to build, easier to sell, and easier to improve. To see why, first forget the brand names and look inside one pixel. The difference begins with where the light comes from. In a plasma panel, each subpixel is a tiny gas discharge cell. Electricity creates ultraviolet light, which excites red, green, or blue phosphor. Each cell is therefore self-emissive. When a dark pixel is supposed to be dark, it can emit very little light. An LCD works differently. Liquid crystals do not make light. They act like millions of tiny shutters controlling a backlight shining through color filters. Early LCDs could not block that shared light perfectly. Dark scenes could look gray, and pixel response could smear fast movement. Their viewing angle could also shift color and contrast. Plasma's fast-pulsed cells and self-emissive image gave it a natural advantage in precisely those situations. But a living room advantage is not automatically a market advantage, and plasma's strengths came with physical costs. Pioneer built the Kuro brand around that advantage. Kuro means black, and Pioneer said its 2007 panels cut black luminance to about 1/5 of the previous generation. In a controlled room, that lower black floor made dark films look deeper and richer. It was a real achievement, not just nostalgia. Panasonic's Viera plasmas later carried the format into more affordable and very large sets. The 103-inch PZ600 made the technology's scale impossible to miss. But plasma concentrated on larger screens. LCD technology already served laptops, monitors, and smaller televisions, giving factories and suppliers many more places to learn and earn. LCD also had a showroom superpower: brightness. Under harsh retail lighting, a bright, punchy LCD could attract attention before a plasma's better darkroom black level even mattered. Plasma screens could reflect more room light, draw more power on bright content, and release more heat. Their glass-heavy construction also made large sets awkward to move. LCD was not always prettier. It was increasingly convenient. Then there was burn-in. Leave a static logo or information panel on plasma for long enough, and uneven phosphor wear could leave a permanent shadow. That was a genuine weakness, especially for airports, games, news channels, and anyone using a television like a monitor. But temporary image retention was often confused with permanent burn-in. A ghost image could fade, damaged phosphor did not. Later sets used pixel orbiters, screen wash routines, and user warnings. The risk became more manageable, though never imaginary. More importantly, plasma sales did not collapse the moment consumers learned about burn-in. The format remained competitive for years and even grew sharply in 2010. Burn-in could push a cautious buyer toward LCD. It cannot explain why manufacturers poured vastly more capacity into LCD, or why LCD prices kept falling across almost every size. The decisive loop was industrial. More LCD demand justified larger fabrication plants. Larger plants spread development costs across more panels and pushed unit costs down. Lower prices created still more demand. And because LCD panels worked in bedrooms, kitchens, offices, computers, and giant living room sets, the loop reached far beyond one premium television category. LED backlights then made LCD sets thinner and more efficient, while improving brightness and giving manufacturers a fresh marketing label, LED TV, though the image panel was still LCD. Plasma kept improving too. It simply improved inside a much smaller industrial ecosystem. Plasma even staged a comeback in 2010, rising from 14.8 million to 19.1 million shipments. But by that year's fourth quarter, LCD represented about 82% of worldwide television shipments. Once one technology holds that kind of volume advantage, component suppliers, retailers, and engineering budgets begin to follow it. That scale lowered panel cost, encouraged more brands and sizes, and made another generation of factories easier to justify. LCD was no longer merely a rival screen. It was the safer industrial platform. Plasma was squeezed from both ends. Premium LCDs improved, while cheaper LCDs won shoppers who were comparing price, thickness, and brightness rather than perfect blacks. The technology with the more cinematic reputation had become the riskier business. Energy rules added pressure, but they did not simply ban plasma. California's standards were written to be technology neutral and based mainly on screen area. In fact, efficiency advocates noted that new 2010 Panasonic and Samsung plasma models could meet California's stricter 2013 level. Regulation accelerated efficiency work and made plasma's higher consumption harder to ignore. But compliant plasma existed. The deeper problem was declining demand and shrinking investment. Pioneer left the television business by 2010. Panasonic stopped plasma panel production in December 2013. Samsung and LG followed with production endings in November 2014. By then, ending plasma was less a verdict on its picture than a decision about where the next factory, research budget, and marketing campaign should go. The irony is that the qualities enthusiasts missed did return. OLED pixels emit their own light, so black can again mean a pixel that is simply off. OLED also offers wide viewing angles and excellent motion response, but it is not plasma reborn. It uses organic emitters and brings its own cost, brightness, and wear trade-offs. Meanwhile, LCD survived by changing LED backlights, local dimming, better panels, and enormous manufacturing refinement closed much of the old gap. Plasma proved that the best picture can lose and still define what the winner must eventually become.